You are uncertain. You have doubts and contradictions. You make art. You cannot be taught art. You can be taught craft. Art follows on the heels of self-acceptance. Self-acceptance leads to self-discovery, which leads you to your own voice, your art, which is the end product of hard work and not quitting. Stopping, yes, but starting again. Not quitting. Medical students go on to become doctors. Law students go on to practice law. Art students graduate and quit by the thousands. Artists don't quit. Artists are imperfect. Perfect beings have no reason to make art. Art is about limitations, working with, around, and through them, not necessarily getting them behind you. You never end up with exactly what you intended. Each piece is an exercise that moves you toward the occasional piece that soars. So do work that you care about, lots of it. You alone care about your process. Others look at your product. Very few want to know about your process. And why should they? A person and their art are not the same thing. If you think you are your art, then when you make bad art, you are a bad person. When you make no art, you are no person. In short, you are in trouble. This thinking is at the root of competition, self-validation, and every other neurosis common to artists. Renoir in his 80s and on his deathbed, it is rumored to have said, "It's a shame. I was just starting to understand color." A piece moves from general to specific. The first word, note, or brushstroke could be to any story, song, or painting. The last belongs to that particular piece alone. It tells you it is finished. There is an exhilaration in finishing that is usually followed by a sense of loss, mourning for what it might have been, and a reason to begin the next piece. We are here to realize the next possibility. There will be times when you'll never be satisfied with anything you make. It happens, but nonetheless, you must begin a sentence, a tune, a sketch, without knowing its ending. It is uncertainty. It is mystery. It is not for everybody. Unlike you, real artists know what they are doing. Wrong. Skilled craftsmen know what they are doing. Real artists live with uncertainty, outside of their comfort zone. You say it doesn't come easy to you. That's because it's hard. Think about what you do, not whether it is hard or easy. It is at different times both. Worrying about how much talent you have is wasting energy that could be put into your work, which is to accept yourself in order to find your voice. Artists who have found their own voice are interesting. Those who are safely working in their comfort zone by using the tried and true voices of others are, to be kind, less interesting. Quantity begets quality. Do lots of work. A compulsive obsession with one piece or mode of working is likely to produce self-conscious and boring art. Perfect is the enemy of good. It begets paralysis. In short, perfection is the assassin of the muse. You mustn't cling to what you know you can do. It suddenly occurs to you, to not work is to not make mistakes, and you quit. Instead, you should see that the seed for the next piece lies embedded in the flaws of the current piece. And you say, but what about geniuses? The Mozarts, the Michelangelos, the James Joyces. They were geniuses. Get on with your work. It has nothing to do with you. The idea that other artists have a special something, a magic ingredient that you don't have, is certain death. If they have some magic, it is their magic. It wouldn't help you even if you had it. Worrying about it distracts you from finding your own magic. It's theirs. You don't need it. It has nothing to do with you. Your work is your guide. Ask it what it needs. Then listen. Unless you are very strong, sharing your work prematurely invites trouble. Sometimes it is wise to hold off sharing until you are through with an idea and on to something else. Call it an insulating gap, if you will. Many times you don't really know what you've done until you look back on it. Surprisingly, the piece you thought a stroke of genius looks slick and shallow, while the one you discarded has something special you totally missed by being too close to it. Seeking an audience too early can compromise your higher vision. You may find yourself making work that looks or sounds like art. Acceptance is there, but what have you lost? Are you producing your future or someone else's past? The question is not whether your work is art, but whether it is your art. If that horse is dead, get off of it. As a viewer of art, you can encompass centuries, but as a maker of art, you are bound by time and circumstance. Decisive work participates in the fabric of life. Be there. You shouldn't be doing any other work. Do your work. Self-conscious efforts to be like great artists of the past are foolish. Power cannot be borrowed across space and time. No one should be wearing a Greek fisherman's hat except a Greek fisherman. Tools and materials set limits on what you can say in a piece of art. But the discovery of a useful vocabulary of methods and forms is precious and shouldn't be abandoned for trivial reasons. The most trivial being, I should be doing something else. Making art is tough. Society doesn't embrace it. In nature, straying from the flock is dealt with harshly. Those who stray get eaten. Most people see no reason to question their own beliefs, much less give you matching grants to solicit your questioning of them. And again, why should they? But question you must, because the world is a work in progress, not yet finished. In a healthy artistic environment, artists are not in competition with each other. Unfortunately, healthy artistic environments are about as common as unicorns. Therefore, there are symbols of recognition, from blue ribbons to NEA grants to a show at the Gallery de Jour, advanced art degrees, or a celebrity profile in the New Yorker. A network of creative, supportive friends is the healthiest of artistic environments. Cultivate one. To critics, art is a noun. To artists, it is a verb. Therefore, for the artist, the best writings on art are not analytical, but autobiographical. For after all, the artist was there. Artists who need ongoing assurance routinely seek challenges that have clear goals and measurable feedback. That is, technical challenges. Nothing wrong with technical excellence, but it puts the cart before the horse if it is the primary goal. We don't remember the best rule followers. We remember those who made art from which the rules inevitably flow. Technical virtuosity is often beautiful, striking, and vacant. Mastering technique is difficult, but it's still inherently easier to reach the right answer than it is to give form to a new idea. Simply put, art about ideas is more interesting than art about technique. Art is less polished, but more innovative than craft. The artist's job is to push the craft to its limit without being trapped by it. Craft should not be an end in itself, but a vehicle for expressing your vision. While the stone tools fashioned by cave dwellers are hopelessly primitive, their wall paintings remain as excellent, elegant, and expressive as any modern art. What does this say to you? Classes of things are the provinces of science. Particular things are the provinces of art. As an artist, you are a custodian of issues larger than yourself. Art is contact. In making art, you declare what is important. Artists come together in the clear knowledge that when it's all said and done, they will return to their studios and practice their art alone. Period. That simple truth may be the deepest bond that we share. We tell the stories we have to tell, the only work really worth doing, the only work we can do convincingly, is the work that focuses on things we care about. The only voice we need is the voice we have. We're not special. Art is hard work, but it's oh so rewarding. It takes a measure of courage, but it is also inevitable. Veterans know this and share in common the ability to get on with it. Artists become veterans not only by making peace with themselves, but with a huge range of issues. They learn to reoccupy useful space easily, instantly. In the end, it comes down to this. You have a choice between giving your work your best shot and risking that it will not make you happy, or not giving it your best shot and thereby guaranteeing that it will not make you happy. It becomes a choice between certainty and uncertainty. And curiously, uncertainty is the comforting choice.